I've just got back from B&M and picked up 4 different alcoholic drinks from their shelves. But the big question is, were they worth the money? Okay, so it's been a few hours. The drinks are now well and truly chilled, so it's time we can give them a taste. So I did buy 4 drinks, and I'm being specific with the word drinks because they're not all beer. All but one are, but yeah, fancy something a little bit more interesting because yeah, the beers selection at B&M wasn't amazing. There was some, some stuff that you don't normally see in some other shops, but there was a lot of sort of your Carlsberg, your Fosters, and that kind of stuff, which I don't really fancy doing on the channel. So yeah, we're going to go through them one by one. I'll break down to how much the price was, and then yeah, we'll see how they taste. So the first one I picked up was Efes Draft. This was £1.40 a can, and this is a Turkish lager, basically. This one, it actually is brewed in Turkey. As with one of the other beers that I try, it is brewed where it should actually be brewed, rather than being sort of bought out in the UK and brewed in Burton or whatever. So yeah, this was £1.40 a can. I do like the can design. It looks like a barrel. It's pretty interesting. It says at the top, Mediterranean slow brew. I'm guessing that just means lagering. We take our time to brew Efes with our unique Mediterranean slow brew technique by adding one more resting moment in the brewing process. Okay. So this is actually during the brew rather than fermentation. Got a weird, interesting sort of foil, like a yogurt, like a yogurt lid. But yeah, let's crack this into a glass and see how it tastes. So straight out the barrel. Was a little bit vigorous on that pour, but that is a nice clear beer there. Nice. And very little carbonation, but a nice good head actually. It's kept in the head nicely. Nice and white, sort of very tight bubbles. Yeah, looks like a very decent drink. From the looks, anyway, nothing untoward there for £1.40. Smells like a fairly decent lager as well. Got that nice breadiness to it. The nice maltiness, a little bit sweet. Yeah, smells a bit Czech style. Very similar to sort of a Czech. Not quite actually. It's a bit of like a hybrid between sort of a Czech lager and like a German lager, I'd say. Quite malty and sweet. Yeah. Alright, let's give this one a taste. Nice bit of sweetness. No real discerning bitterness. Just sweetness. A little bit of malty character. A little bit of breadiness in that flavour, as lagers tend to be. I mean, most of the times I've seen Efes is when you're on holiday in Turkey or, an all-inclusive. And this kind of sums up perfect sort of all-inclusive lager, really. It's one you could just sort of neck back without really thinking about it, which has its place. And I definitely not disregard this for £1.40. So next up we have a very fancy box. This is the Innis and Gunn Rum Cask IPA. Golden rum casks and British hops. So I've had the Caribbean one before. And it was pretty nice. I think I had that from Morrison's. It's just nice to have it in a box, isn't it? Very nice presentation. This was £2, if I didn't mention that already. I feel like it was dusty, but no, it's okay. I mean, it's only it's a free 30ml bottle, but this is 7.1%. For £2, that is a pretty good ABV to pound ratio. So yeah, this is they've changed the logo not the logo. They changed the branding last time I seen it in Innis and Gunn. It definitely looks a bit more modern, a bit more with the times. But yeah, this is an Edinburgh-based brewery from memory. Yeah. So it has been aged. I don't know how long. Does it say? No, doesn't say. Aged in golden rum casks. So I don't know how long for. Maybe, probably not a huge amount of time. But yeah, let's get this poured into the glass and let's give this one a try. Gonna have to find a bottle opener though. Okay. Just give it a small amount for considering the percentage. Ah, that's a lighter colour than I was expecting actually. So yeah, it is going for like an IPA style that's been aged in rum casks, which is very interesting because usually you will age in rum casks a more darker beer because they tend to fare a bit better being aged in a barrel. But actually, kind of harks back to how IPA was shipped across the seas way back when. It was shipped in a barrel and was designed to last, which is why it's 7.1%, which is probably about what they were back then as well. The head didn't stay around for too long. That's kind of dissipated now. I mean, that smells boozy. Definitely get rum, like the alcohol, the spiciness to it. But I'm also getting that hoppy nature that I would expect from an IPA. It's a little bit of an interesting aroma actually. That is like woody, spicy, boozy, hoppy. Interesting. Yeah, definitely smells strong. Let's give it a taste. Ooh. Okay. Not. I was expecting like very bitter hoppiness. It is sweet. A lot sweeter than a lower percentage IPA. Tends to be a lot sweeter the higher percentage you go because of the sugars that were needed to get that percentage. So yeah, it's sweet. It is malty. Malty than I would expect for an IPA. A little bit more bready. Not quite as bready as the Efes before. There is a little woodiness to it. But yeah, that is, again, for £2, that is not something I'm disappointed with. It's pretty. It tastes boozy, but it doesn't taste 7.1% boozy. Well, I've drank it quite quickly. And actually, because I've kept it in that box, it's not ice cold, but it is sort of room temperature, which allows them flavours to come through a bit nicer and a bit quicker. But yeah, that is Again, pretty decent, and for a pretty decent price. So next up we have Mythos, a 5% premium Hellenic beer. So like a Hellas, I am going to assume. I think I've had Mythos before, but I think I've always had the UK brewed one, because this is a Marston's, no, Carlsberg Marston's brand. I'm pretty sure they do brew it in the UK, but this is bottled and brewed in Greece, which is where it is from originally. I always like with these bargain supermarkets that you do get the beers imported rather than the brewed ones from, you know, Burton-on-Trent or Birmingham or Wolverhampton or somewhere like that. So yeah, I mean, in a clear bottle, which is always a bit of a worry because of light strike. It was just sat out on a shelf at room temperature, very bright, sharp. So yeah, potential for light striking on this one. Price-wise, it was £2.25, so a little bit of step up from a 7.1% cask IPA, a rum cask IPA. But this is obviously a bigger bottle, 500ml rather than 330, so you're getting more liquid. So it probably is comparable, slightly cheaper. Yeah, so, but still not a bad price. Do you have this interesting bottle cap, which I've never seen before. Okay. Okay, I'm already not sure about this. When I opened that that bottle, it smelt a little bit weedy, little bit skunked. But actually, no, on the aroma, it's not as bad. There's a little bit of something there. A little bit like stale beer. Definitely, it's got very similar characteristics to the Efes. Again, it's kind of a lot of, sort of similar style. It's not as sweet. It's definitely smells a little bit more malty than that one. That smelled malty. This smells even more so. It's like bready. Like I say, brown bread rather than brioche bread, because that was sweet and bready, whereas this is just bready. To try and give you a hint of what an lager I'm going, it's bready but not as bready as that one, or it's malty but not as malty as that one. Hopefully that clears it up a bit. Anyway. I mean, that is very beige. I know I said that the Efes was quite easy drinking and sort of not thinking about it, but let's just... I mean, the Efes is definitely sweeter. A little bit more to it. The Mythos... It's fine. It's not making me spit it out, but it's not anything to write home about, really. There's not really much to be able to describe. It's really got not got a lot to it. Definitely more leaning on the sort of bitter lager. than a sweet lager like the Efes or a Czech lager. This is a lot more. Well, yeah, it probably is a lot more in Germanic style, more bitter, hoppier than sweeter. So final one is the VK Squashka, apple and blackcurrant with vodka at 7%. This is this carton size is 500 ml, and I think this is kind of in the going for that. Yeah, I can't remember. I've had them before, like a festival, like a boom box or party box or something like that, where it's you know, basically like a milk carton but full of strong sort of cocktail quality, more high percentage cocktail kind of drink or pre-mixed drink. So yeah, apple and blackcurrant. I'd normally be drinking it out of the carton directly, but let's get this poured into a glass just so we can have a look at what it looks like, really. So yeah, very brightly coloured. Definitely looks like, I'd say more like strawberry squash than apple and blackcurrant squash. I mean, we drink apple and blackcurrant quite a lot at home, and it does not look like that. Definitely get the apple and blackcurrant aroma though. Does smell like the apple and blackcurrant squash that we have on a regular basis. Slightly strong in aroma, like it's not been diluted down a lot. And obviously vodka doesn't really smell of much. That's why it's quite a great ingredient for cocktails, because it doesn't really impact the flavour too much. So yeah. Has someone swapped the can out for our cordial? That is exactly what that tastes like. You can see why these drinks are immensely popular, because yeah, that could leave you in a bit of a problem drinking that, especially at a festival, because that just tastes like cordial. Quite strong cordial. Probably how I would like it. I always like my cordial a little bit on the stronger side. And that is definitely where that's at. So yeah, I mean, not a lot to say about this one. This was a bit of a wild card, because the other beers options was I wasn't massively keen on. But it is JD's Booze Reviews. I can do more than just beer. I usually focus on that because that's what I know and love more. But I'm partial to a cheeky something or other every now and then. And yeah, that isn't gonna last long, I don't think. So what has my little experiment proved? Can you get decent quality beer at B&M for a decent price? Well, yes you can. However, nothing out of this world. Definitely in terms of sort of the same sort of shop. Home Bargains are doing a better job in the sort of specialist beer range, I find, because you've got the Love Lane Brewery, which I think exclusively, B&M, Home Bargains own Love Lane Brewery actually, and produce quite a lot of beers through them. But yeah, you can get some decent stuff. There's a lot more than I have picked up, obviously. But for a total shop of like £8.40, we've had some pretty strong stuff. We've had some tasty stuff. We've had some not horrendous stuff. So yeah, there's definitely a bargain to find at B&M. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, see my next videos when they drop, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.